wine country.
Oh,
Yeah.
he had a tough job.
Yeah, he did. So
Somebody's got to do it.
you know, it's all about wine and being romantic, and chances are pretty good that you're going to see a glass of wine in hand sometime on The Bachelor. So today we continue our Arizona wine series as Corey Williams. He is going to introduce us to a movie maker that is turned winemaker, Sam Pillsbury. I know you've heard of him. I've heard of him. And he is a New Zealand director. And he traveled from the Arizona high desert to the White House. Take a look.
Our Sonora Living wine education continues as we are up once again in northern Arizona. We started out a couple weeks ago giving you a little background into the Arizona winemaking industry. Then last week we took you on a tour of Page Springs, and this week we're introducing you to a winemaker, filmmaker, a little bit of everything, Sam Pillsbury. And Sam, I want to start with kind of your background. You grew up until the age 13 in the States, then went to New Zealand, then you started in the filmmaking industry. Kind of tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I was in college and I started writing reviews for the student newspaper, and by the time I'd done 3 film reviews, I noticed that I was talking about technique a lot. I suddenly thought, you know, I'm writing about this stuff. Why don't I just do it? So I finished my master's degree and went straight into learning filmmaking, working for the New Zealand government, making documentaries initially. And then I made my first feature, and I was like 32 or something. Since then, I've made about 25 movies.
Yeah, nice. So now we transition into the wine industry. What made you decide to get into wine?
It's the same thing. I like wine and I enjoy it. I like movies and I enjoy them, and I just thought, why don't I try making wine? I really did think at the start that it would be something completely different from filmmaking. You know, we've actually buy land and you put plants on the ground and they grow and it's real. But it's an immense amount of fun. I find it really, really interesting. And there is something nice about being able to pour something that you made in a glass and sniff it and taste it and enjoy it. That is real.
Why Arizona?
Because I found myself here, that's all. I found myself here, and I was very attracted to Arizona. I've always been kind of a fan of the Southwest anyway. I met my wife here working on a film, and just started spending more and more time here, and just thought after a while, you know, I'm here, you know, I'm sort of living here, I sort of belong here, let's really own it and try to do something that's completely Arizona and that's original and unique, you know.
When you got into the wine industry and you started here in Arizona, you knew you would have a good product, but are you surprised at just how good it has become?
Not really. What had happened to me was quite fun, really. I had bought a 1997 Chardonnay grown from the grapes grown in a vineyard down where mine is now. It was the best Chardonnay I'd ever tasted, and I literally got my car and drove down the next day and bought this land next to this other vineyard. Almost every kind of grape variety grows really well down there, you know. What I'm thrilled about is that at last, like in the last 3 years, people are starting to get excited about Arizona wines, whereas before it was a real struggle getting people to take them seriously, you know.
A lot of Arizona wines are being recognized for their quality. You've actually had a couple wines even in the White House. Kind of tell me about how that happened.
I was actually shoveling I think it was the 02 Pinot Gris into the hopper when the phone rang. I was down there. That was when we were making the wine down where the vineyard is. I was really isolated. I thought this guy said, he was calling from the White House and he wanted to try my wine. I thought it was some friend of mine, you know, so I hung the phone up and went back to work, and he called back and he said, don't hang up, no, this is real. So we sent off some samples and blow me down, you know, they took it.
For our viewers, how does the tasting room work if they want to come up and try some of your wines?
Oh, you just come up to Cottonwood, park your car and come in here. I have these fabulous people working here. We have all the wines here that you can try. You can sample all different wines. You can buy a glass and you can buy a bottle or a case and take as much home as you like.
All right, well, Sam, I appreciate your time. And once again, it's Pillsbury Winery up here in Cottonwood. Next week, we're going to be heading up the hill to Jerome, where we're going to visit a winery with a rock star winemaker, and he has his hands in the soil. Until then, cheers.